I'm sorry that we're late. Today we're going to be talking about, what's that our topic again? Should you do water fast to shrink fibroids? This is a very interesting topic and it's a trend. Hi, I'm so happy to see you. It's a trend that has been on social media for a while now, and people are saying that this is going to shrink fibroids. And the question is, if it's just water, why are there still so many women with fibroids? I don't want to be a fearmonger, and if you've been in my DM, you will notice that I want to hope that this will help us to see. If you've been in my DM, you will notice that I don't follow up on women. Like, I don't try to do sales or try to come tell you, hey, remember to sign up, you know, those kind of things. Why? Because I want it to be a personal decision that you make for your health. And today's topic is going to focus strictly on whether you should do water fast for your fibroids. Okay, then I talked about not being a fearmonger. And fear-mongering is that I tell you these are the dangers of certain things so that you don't do those things and so that you choose my way. But if you've been in my other life, you see that I've said my way isn't the only way. I've seen a lot of women that I have confidence in what they do. I want to be sure that what I'm writing here, you can see. Oh, you can't see. What a wasted mission. Anyway. Hi girl. Ooh, hi everyone. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how I'm going to look at my list of things that we're going to do today. As I put on the poster, I said we're going to talk about how water fasting is done, the science behind water fast. So for your water fast, when you go without food for a while, your body starts to use glycogen, which is your stored sugar, stored glucose. And from that experience, your insulin levels are going to drop. And when your insulin levels drop, ketosis begins. And now you notice that you just heard ketosis. There are a lot of people that do keto diets. Now, what I tell women, some women who ask, is that keto is a side effect that is being marketed as a cure. Keto is a side effect that is being marketed as a cure. So it was a temporary treatment for something which I'll probably just maybe talk about later. And then they noticed that people who were on this program were losing weight. And then people figured that, oh, if it's healthy and people lose weight, then this must be a solution to weight loss. And people started using it for weight loss. And I'd like to say again that if you're trying to get rid of fibroids, keto is not for you. Number one, women need carbs. And so I could give you 10 reasons why you shouldn't use keto for fibroids. But the number one thing is that women need carbs for proper body functioning. You need carbs to help your body build progesterone. You need carbohydrates. Now, let's talk again about, let's go back to the whole what happens. Yes, that's where I am now. So there are also going to be metabolic changes. So people think that this metabolic changes is called healing. Asking someone to drink water only to shrink fibroids is like me telling you, oh, just chew paper or chew cotton wool or chew gum. It's simply just a way of saying don't eat, but lubricate your intestines by continuing to drink water. Because honestly, if you do a prolonged fast without water, the moment you decide you just want to eat, your intestine is going to be like flat as a tape because there was no lubrication. It's just going to be so flat. So that's why people just keep drinking water. So it's technically you not eating at all. Now, some of the proponents of this water diet tell you that they take fruits from time to time, you know, water fruits, this what do you call this one, pineapple. They tell you that they take all these things from time to time because you really need to balance your electrolytes. Now, even if I don't want to fearmonger, I want to say that if you go on the news, you would see that a lot of people have died of water toxicity or water intoxication. This is the fearmongering I didn't want to talk about. Coaches have been arrested for telling their clients, drink water, drink a lot of water, drink lots of water. When our body is really just full of chemicals. So when you are consistently drinking water, your potassium level drops, your magnesium level drops, a lot of things just drop, your sodium level drops because you're just drinking water. And then you also see some people that are not on a different topic entirely. They tell you, oh, if you want to keep drinking water daily, add some water, add some salt, add some lemon. Those are good ideas. But the idea of simply drinking water to shrink fibroids is not simply something that you take out and then you are healed. Drinking water does not heal your body. If you were in my last live, which is still on my account, I said that getting rid of fibroids only gets rid of the messenger. There is a real problem, and the real problem is still there. So if we say, okay, let's get rid of fibroids by drinking water, your estrogen level is going to drop temporarily. But when you decide to start eating again, because you don't know what to eat, because you don't know how to eat, because all you thought about was drinking water, your estrogen is going to come back again, and it's probably going to surge this time around because you what you did actually helped to reduce the production of progesterone, and your body needs progesterone to balance your estrogen. That's why when we talk about hormonal imbalance, it's mostly estrogen that is like in excess. And this fasting, it really does, for some people who have said it works, it really does breaks down muscle tissues. You know, it breaks down muscle tissues in order to supply amino acids for body's essential functions. But what you're simply doing is getting rid of the lump and standing the risk of losing your life. That's why I said go on the news and see people who have lost their lives to, because you're basically talking about malnutrition. Now, the people who talk about this thing for fibroids say they didn't eat for like 17 days or 18 days and they were just drinking water. Do you really want to do that to yourself? Don't you like food? Don't you like enjoyment? Don't you like food? Someone told me eating chicken wings, chicken liver. And I like food. I can't just decide, no, I don't want to eat at all. Of course, if you don't eat, then be honest with you. Of course, if you don't eat for 2 weeks, everything in your body will reduce, including the fibroids. I don't know about your eyes and your teeth or your bones, but you're going to lose muscle mass everywhere. It's simply logic. But do you really want to do that to get rid of fibroids? I'm saying this because this trend is probably going to come by your TL and you're going to be contemplating it. I had a neighbor once who is on the big side, and she wanted to get this medication to help her lose weight. She said it helps you lose weight in 2 weeks. It burns fat. And I told her, there's nothing in this world that goes into your body and burns fat on its own. If they tell you, it's just placebo. If they tell you, oh, Ozempic does this, Ozempic does that, ask the person, when you were taking the Ozempic, what else were you doing? I don't believe there's something that goes into your body and just sucks up all the fat. That's just what I think. Let's move on to the next part of our topic. I want this to be really, really fast, and how water fasting is done. So how it's done is that they just don't eat food. They just take only water for 14 days and hope that the fibroid goes away. Honestly, anybody can tell you this. Anybody can tell you don't eat food for 14 days and the fibroids will go away. But the problem is, are you going to have your essential minerals? Are you going to have, women need iron. If you don't have blood, you will lose more blood in your next period. Are you going to be happy? Because it increases your cortisol level, your stress level. You're going to be extremely stressed, cranky. And when you have too much stress, it affects your period. It interferes with progesterone production. You have disrupted hormones. Is that really what you're willing to incur on yourself just because you're getting rid of fibroids? That is just the messenger. The next thing I said we're going to talk about is the rebound effect, potential fibroid regrowth. Now, in my last live, you see that I said that those who work with me, the fibroids don't grow back. And then I said, how can you get rid of fibroids permanently? There is nothing like, oh, once I do this, the fibroid will go and I'll be fine and I don't have to stress anymore. There is no single fix. Let me get this straight. There is no one thing that fixes fibroids. It's our whole body is made up of chemicals. Every day, like in my last live, I said every day women are using their money to buy fibroids. Every day, our body is interacting with different chemicals. As you're walking, the next person you pass by, the perfume you're using, you pass by a certain place, maybe an industrial place, you drink something, you take something, you smell something, you gossip about someone, you have emotional issues. It's not water that's going to fix that. Water does not fix marital problems that cause stress, that elevate your cortisol, that gives you fibroids. Water does not fix stressful family relationships that elevate your cortisol and cause you stress, that elevate fibroids. That is if fibroids is your root cause. For example, by the way, when I talk to women, I mean, that is if stress is your root cause. When I talk to women, when I have this one-on-one call with women, I do this root cause where I get to talk and ask you questions. And I just say, oh, okay, so this should be the thing causing this for you. Like one of the last women that I coached, I realized that what could be causing her own fibroids is actually stress and highly selective eating. I don't even eat as highly selectively as that. Highly selective eating. Of course, if you're eating highly selectively, you will encounter stress because you are too selective. Your brain is processing too much. You don't eat a lot of things. Imagine not eating food that gives you essential B vitamins, for example. Imagine not eating certain things because, and I'm OCD, but this, am I naked? I'm OCD, but this lady was like more OCD than I was. Oh, then maybe you should take this. No, because this, eat this. No, because this. You understand? And then you talk with another lady and you realize, oh, this other problem is her root cause. This certain addiction is her root cause. One funny thing is that when we talk about addiction, our minds go to people who do substance abuse. Our minds go to people who are addicted to gambling. Our minds go to people who are addicted to watching certain things. We don't see that there's an addiction for some people who like food. There's an addiction for sleep. There is an eating addiction. Yeah, I just mentioned that. There are social media addictions. There are so many addictions. And your addiction, depending on what it is, could be your root cause. And I would just talk to you and just say, oh, let's take care of this. And then the fibroids will shrink. And, you know, it's interesting. Now, some of you listening who have never worked with me before will be like, if that's all you need to tell me, why do I have to pay that amount? It's because I know. It's because I know. Have you ever heard the story of the mechanic? There was this wealthy guy, and his car stopped on the way, and then he called several mechanics, and they would just come. They didn't know what the problem was, and then this guy just came, and he's like, and he just touched one thing, and the car started running, and he said, your money is this amount. And I said, why? He said, but you just touched one thing. And the guy asked him, did you know what to touch? You're paying me for knowing what to touch. And that's really the idea of knowledge coaching, knowledge transfer. The idea of knowledge transfer is that you're not paying me for my time. You're not paying for my effort. You're paying me because I know. And the funny thing is, people will just say, oh, just eat healthy. Eat healthy means a lot to different people and to different illnesses. And one cure that works for one woman might not be what works for another woman when it comes to fibroids. There, in my last life, I keep referring to my last life. In my last life, I said that you could have fibroids that are shrunk, but still be suffering from other hormonal issues. You can get rid of fibroids, but still be suffering from other hormonal issues. Your fibroids could be shrinking and you still be suffering from anemia, because everything boils down to method. So let's go back again to my routine for today. Impact of water fasting on hormonal balance, on menstrual health. I've said that before. Your period is a report card for the way you lived your life in the past cycle. Now, if you're an African woman or an Asian woman watching this, in ancient traditional Asian medicine, there's this thing, and African women believe this thing too, that you can use your period to swear for someone. Do you advise drinking only fruit juice to shrink fibroids instead? I don't advise one cure. That's what I've been trying to say since. Yes, I don't advise one cure. I'm not, and when women work with me, the first thing I try to do is to remove certain things from their mentality. The idea that if I take this thing, fibroid will go away. If you take that thing, fibroid will go away. When women come to me, even those that I'm coaching, and they say, is this food bad? Can we eat this? Can we eat that? I'm like, I don't know. Who told you not to eat it? Go and ask the person. So anybody that comes to, thank you. So anybody that comes to ask me if we can eat this or we can eat that, I really don't have an answer to that, because it's not a food issue and there's no one thing. So if I tell you now, oh yes, you can take only fruit and it will shrink fibroids, the question is, you've been alive for more than 20 years. You know where fruits are. Have you been taking them? Did the fibroids shrink? Have you been waiting for me to tell you to take it since? That's the question I'm going to ask you. Okay, because fruits are everywhere. We're surrounded by fruits. If fruits were the solution, nobody would have fibroids. Do you understand? That's the way I'm answering that question. So do you advise drinking only fruit to shrink fibroids instead? I'll tell you, do what appeals to you. On my account, I educate women. I help women to advocate for themselves at the hospital. I help women to understand that I'm actually here for women who do not want surgeries. So if you feel like there's something that you think will be good for you that you want to do, I'm not here to give you permission. That's not what I'm not on my account to give permission. I'm on my account to educate. So if you want to work with me, go get the consultation link, or join the 3 months program, or buy the shrinkage menu. I'm not here to give permission. It's just like you walking into a store or a place where someone sells stuff, because what I sell is knowledge, and just because you can't see knowledge doesn't mean that people can't take knowledge from you like that. So you understand? So it's just like I'm in my shop now selling what I sell in boxes. Imagine that knowledge is tangible. Then you just walk in and you just grab something and go, no, I'm not going to answer your question, because that question is going to get things out of my mouth that you're supposed to pay for. So moving on, the psychological and emotional toll of restrictive diets. Most restrictive diets, whether it's for weight loss, for diabetes, for cancer, if they're not controlled by a knowledgeable coach, what you're going to experience is a temporary high. That means you're just going to feel that you're doing the right thing, feel like you're doing the right thing, but then you're stressed. And you feel like you're doing the right thing, but then you're stressed. And then the moment the time frame you give yourself is over, you're like, yay, now I can eat anything I want. And those people, sorry, I'm checking the time, and those people usually have a rebound and go back to eating as if, oh, I missed you, and they start eating everything. So knowledge is power. Just drinking water is not what you need, because when you stop drinking the water and you want to start eating normally, guess what? You're going to go back to your life, because you don't know anything that is necessary for you to have fibroids shrunk. Knowledge is power. I teach women, what I teach women is what you will use. You use to help your sister, and when you have children in future, there will be a generational absence of fibroids. That is my promise. So you're not just saying, oh, let me go for a surgery and cut this off, and then eventually maybe it's in your genes, your kids are going to have it, who knows. what I'm teaching you is something that you say, I worked with love for 3 months. I know now my kids will never have fibroids. So it's too much value for you to be saying, no, you don't want to do that. But I'm not here to sell. Moving on, questions and answer. Can water fasting shrink fibroids permanently? The answer is no. Is short-term fasting safe? You can fast for short-term. And I advise women who want to fast, especially all these spiritual fasts that come with end of the year and New Year. I always advise women, please, if you want to fast, fasting will definitely affect your period. So if you want to fast, the best time to fast is right after your period. And don't fast for longer than 5 waking hours. Okay, God is not wicked. Don't fast for longer than 5 waking hours. Waking hours, I mean, you're awake by 8 and maybe you want to eat by 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. Try and eat something. But above all, I advise women to make sure they eat breakfast. Why do I advise women to eat breakfast? Because if you skip breakfast for the rest of the day, you're probably too busy to get to eat something. And so please, short-term fast, but not a very long fast. Are there other, okay, what safer alternatives to fibroid management? Safer alternatives to fibroid management is either you can go for a laparoscopy, you can go for a traditional surgery, that's the open surgery, or you meet a lifestyle coach. Do not meet a fitness coach. If your belly is bulging, you don't need to do an abdominal exercise. Don't meet a fitness coach to help you get a flat tummy when you haven't done a pelvic scan to determine that you have fibroids. One mistake is that women with big bellies take their big bellies to the gym when they should be taking their big bellies to the lab to get checked. If there are no other questions, I want to do shout outs and I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you, Mehin. You are so amazing. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, NK. Thank you, Andrews. Thank you again, Mahin. You're literally an inspiration. Thank you, you too. Thank you, Traveler's Guide. Thank you, girl, teacher next door. Thank you, Esto. Thank you, Happiness Best Man. Thank you, Mr. Atkinson. Thank you, Ladinex. Omakots. Thank you, Omakots. Thank you, Dion. Thank you. Yes, let's talk about contraceptives. Please, if you have a young one, a small neighbor, girl, a friend, you're a teacher in school, use that opportunity to tell young girls that contraceptives are not for periods. And I don't know how we can spread this news, but the country where I am now, almost every random girl I just decide to just talk to, maybe I just use style to complain. I just like, oh, I'm so dizzy. Oh, I have anemia. Oh, I'm so dizzy. You just hear, she just tells you, oh, you have to go meeting and they'll block your period so that you can gain blood. It's just so normal. Like everybody's blocking period around here with contraceptives, and we need to stop girls from doing that and educate them. Thank you so much, Cami. Thank you so much, the movies. You are amazing. Thank you, Chilia Maris. Thank you, Datonia. Thank you, Kafia. Thank you, Neki. This has been a wonderful moment. And if you want to join the program or if you want to work with me, feel free to do so. If you can't, just remember that I post free content from time to time. And for this year, by God's grace, I hope to post more entertaining content that will educate you. My mission here is, I don't want to sound cliche, but my mission here is not necessarily to make money. My mission here is to be someone that you look at and you say, I know someone who shrunk fibroids, because in my time, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have anyone, but just having someone that you can look at and say, if she did it, then I know my fibroids can shrink. That's my mission here. Otherwise, nobody, I promise you, nobody wants to come on social media and start telling the whole world their private business, not even relationship, like everything that's going down in the lower part of your body. Nobody wants to do that. I'm being honest with you. And initially, when this account started, everything I was doing was free. When I started this account, everything I was doing was free. And my mentor, she called me and she said, then I had a job. I had a good job in Nigeria. She called me and she said, you're doing this for this woman, because every time I post something, I write in the comments, don't worry, I'm replying all your messages one by one. And she said, you don't do this for free. You don't do this for free. Like, people are going to take advantage of you. The people that you know, that I know that if you go meet them in the same situation, they will not answer you. They will not look at your face. If the tables were turned, these women are not going to send you. So please, and also in your workplace, you're going to be using your office time or your resting time to respond to these women for free. So please, if they value the information that you are giving them, if they really care about what you have to say to them, let them pay. Let them pay for your time, and let them pay for your knowledge. Let them not even pay for your, she wasn't even talking about time, because she said if they're paying for your time, you're just a regular worker in the UK working per hour. Let them pay for your knowledge. Let them pay for your pain. Let them pay for your experience. Let them pay for what you know. And I developed it into a skill. I've worked hard, developed it into a skill. And now I'm not just some random person anymore in this field. I'm now super knowledgeable, you know, over 5 years. I've used my body for several experiments. I go for fibroid scan regularly. Like it used to be before, it used to be every 2 months. Then I started going every like 6 months. Why? Because I've been trying to figure out what works best. You know, if anything is happening, if anything is changing, how can this fibroid disappear permanently? And then I can boldly tell you guys today that I'm someone that I've lived 4 extra years since when I first shrunk fibroids, and I don't have any other fibroids growing in my body. And that's because I pay very close attention, and it's not even stressful. Like today I went to the market and I bought this. This is the first cucumber I'm buying in, like, let me say 6 months. It's not something I do all the time. I always have this. Flour just makes my life easy. Some of you want to know what type of flour is this. I'll explain later. Then today I saw this for cheap. If you look at most of my posts, I'm always holding this. Today it was cheap, so I bought plenty. And it's not that difficult. I soaked this overnight because I want to cook this today. So it's not even difficult. And honestly, if it was really just about fruits, then I wouldn't have a client that is giving testimonies even though she doesn't have access to fruits, because she told me she doesn't have access to fruits. They stay in this estate where they don't have a bouquet outside and all of that. So if it was just about fruits, then we're not going to have testimonies from women that don't have fruits. I love you guys. I pray that this is the year that you receive healing, whether you work with me or you don't work with me. I pray that God shows himself strong in your life. I pray that you record testimony. I pray that you have determination to do the right thing. I pray that you will understand the truth from a lie. I pray that you understand what is good. You have the spirit of discernment, and it is also my prayer for you that you step into abundance. You step into abundance. You step into wealth, so that you can have a lot of money to pay for my program. Bye. Oh, how big is too big to shrink naturally? Oh, sorry. How big is too big to shrink naturally? So if you watch my last live, I said that one of the coaches that is my friend on this account, I normally post her stuff on my story. So if you check once in a while, you see that I've posted her stuff, and I'm like, well done, sis. Hers was watermelon size. It took her 5 years to shrink it. So you need some determination. It will take a while. It took her 5 years to shrink. So hi chums, hi Callies. Yes, it took her 5 years to shrink that big one. So it's not really like how big is too big. It's just the question of, are you patient enough? Are you patient enough? When some women come to my DM, and this is just another proof, and maybe I should start posting screenshots, because I only post screenshots of testimony. Maybe I should start posting screenshots of questions before consultation. There was this woman that the story I wanted to say just disappeared from my head. Yes, I don't really push people to just say, yes, work with me. The same way I don't go send reminders to say, remember that you said you wanted to work with me. I leave it to them to be a family decision, and then they'll come to me when they now realize. But unfortunately, these people go and meet other people who don't know what they're doing, and eventually they'll come and they'll now say, we change our minds. The same. That's why anytime I boost the post, I don't sleep. You see my eyes. When I boost the post, I don't sleep, because in the early times when I used to boost posts and I go to bed, I wake up in the morning and I see people in my comments, people I've never met before, typing liar, scam, liar, and I'm just like, I don't know this person. So I used to delete them before, but one time I went to one of these ladies and I was like, I know someone has hurt you, I know someone played you, I know someone deceived you, but please, I'm not the one. Don't come to my account. And that's really what happens in the job market, in Christianity, in the dating market. People have dated all kinds of rubbish. Now anytime they see you, even if you're nice, you're amazing, you're just too good to be true, you're fake. So so most times in my DM, I just tell women who come and ask me questions, I'm like, if you want to do a surgery, do a surgery. When they come and they say, oh, it's too big, I say, do a surgery. Because you know why? If you have a big size and I tell you, oh, that would take 4 years, you'll be like, okay. When you start working with me the first year, you're probably disappointed, and then you probably go and say, it's not working. Then you go and take me to social media police, that black Nigerian guy, and then you now say, oh, I paid this lady so amount, this thing is not working. You understand? So that's why I don't put pressure on women. Because when women come to me and they're like, oh, should I do a surgery? I always say, if you want to. I don't say, no, don't do surgery, work with me. I just say, if you want to, because it's your life decision. I was going away and I need to go somewhere now. Shouting out again to the new people that are here. Tarella, you're amazing. Rima, thank you so much for joining. Julie's, thank you. Yes, I've answered the question, how big is too big to shrink naturally? I'm so excited that you guys are here, and I pray, I finished saying a lot of prayers, but you can watch it again to say your amen. If we don't believe in the same God, I pray that you also find your healing, your healing regardless. Okay, thank you. And I'll also pray that you find abundance regardless as well. Thank you, ladies. I have to run off now. This was supposed to be 30 minutes. Thank you. I don't know how to explain how grateful I am that people showed up. I am so grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much again. Bye.